A Boeing 747 races down a fog-covered runway, just seconds from takeoff speed, the point of no return. But through the dense fog, a dark shape begins to appear. Another Boeing 747, heading straight toward it. Same runway, opposite direction, only meters away. What happened next is almost impossible to imagine. This is the story of the deadliest aviation accident in history, the Tenerife Airport disaster. Welcome back to Factify TV. The story begins on March 26, 1977. Pan Am Flight 1736, a Boeing 747 jumbo jet, departs Los Angeles. It lands in New York, picks up more passengers, and heads toward its final destination, Las Palmas in the Canary Islands. The flight is fully booked, mostly older travelers planning to enjoy a cruise. The Canary Islands are a beautiful tropical paradise. But in 1977, a political group called MPAIAC was fighting for independence using violence, and one of their actions would trigger a disaster involving two jumbo jets. Pan Am 1736 had a crew led by Captain Victor Grubbs, 56, First Officer Robert Bragg, 39, Flight Engineer George Warnes, 46, plus 13 attendants and 380 passengers. Meanwhile in Amsterdam, KLM Flight 4805, another Boeing 747, boarded its passengers. Captain Jacob van Zanten, 50, First Officer Klaas Moers, Flight Engineer Willem Schroeder, and 235 passengers. Both planes headed for Las Palmas. But before they could arrive, something happened on the ground. Two men walked into the Las Palmas terminal, left a bag outside a flower shop, and disappeared. Inside, a bomb, set on a timer. At 1 p.m., a phone call came. "We are from MPAIAC. A bomb will explode in 15 minutes. The airport was evacuated, and exactly 15 minutes later, boom, the bomb exploded, blowing open the terminal roof. Las Palmas Airport shut down immediately. Incoming flights were diverted. KLM 4805 and Pan Am 1736 were both instructed to land at a smaller nearby airport, Tenerife Airport. Tenerife Airport was never designed to handle so many large jets. Only one runway, one taxiway, a tiny apron, and as if that wasn't enough, fog from the Atlantic suddenly began rolling in. Visibility dropped from clear skies to just 300 meters. Passengers on both flights reboarded, waiting for Las Palmas to reopen. Meanwhile, KLM decided to refuel, blocking the only taxiway, forcing Pan Am to wait. Once refueling ended, ATC instructed KLM, "Taxi down the runway to the east end. Turn around. Wait for takeoff clearance." Then Pan Am was told, "Follow KLM on the runway. Exit at C3 taxiway." But the fog was thick. Pan Am saw C1, then C2, but missed C3, partly because Tenerife lacked proper signage. At the same time, KLM reached the runway end, turned 180 degrees, and lined up for takeoff. And this is where everything went wrong. The KLM captain radioed the tower. "We are now at takeoff." But it was unclear whether he said, "We are at takeoff," or "We are taking off." The tower responded, "Okay, stand by for takeoff clearance." At the exact same moment, Pan Am transmitted, "We are still on the runway." Both messages overlapped. Static drowned them out. The KLM cockpit never heard the critical part. "Stand by, not cleared." Then the captain pushed the throttles forward. Full power, takeoff roll began. The flight engineer heard something about Pan Am still being on the runway, but the captain insisted, "Oh yes," and continued accelerating. Visibility, only 300 meters. Pan Am was still ahead, unseen. Pan Am's pilots suddenly saw landing lights emerging from the fog. A massive 747 charging toward them at full speed. "Turn! Get off the runway!" They swung hard left, but KLM was too fast, too close. The KLM's right engine sliced through Pan Am's first-class cabin, tearing it apart. 583 lives vanished. It became the deadliest aviation disaster ever recorded. Fog hid everything. The control tower didn't even realize a collision had happened until another pilot saw flames and reported them. By the time rescue teams arrived, it was too late. Not a single person from KLM survived. Only 61 people from Pan Am escaped, many by jumping from holes torn in the fuselage. Investigators later concluded a chain of events caused the disaster: the Las Palmas bomb, the diversion, KLM blocking the taxiway, sudden fog, Pan Am missing C3, and finally, KLM taking off without clearance. That last mistake sealed the fate of both aircraft. The Tenerife disaster became a turning point. Worldwide aviation changed dramatically. Clearer radio phraseology, strict confirmation procedures, better runway signage, mandatory crew resource management, CRM, training improved ground radar. Today, the Canary Islands have 2 airports, including the newer Southern Airport, built at a lower altitude with safer visibility. The story of Tenerife is tragic, but it reshaped aviation into the safer system we know today. If you found this story informative, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dive documentaries from Factify TV. Thanks for watching, and may all your journeys be safe.